Morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all doing good. Ready for a Wednesday. Make America Rich Again Day, or Make America Wealthy Again Day. That's what they're calling it. Not so convinced by the charts right now, to be honest. But let's see. If you didn't know, it's Tariff Day, all right? Reciprocal tariffs. This is what we've all been waiting for. April 2nd. We've all been waiting for this event pretty much all year. Okay, so the question right now is, have we priced all this in? Is this a whole hot mess of nothing and everyone starts rolling back and saying, hey, we're not going to tariff you if you don't tariff us, etc., etc., etc.? Or is it more like doomsday? We're going to find out towards the end of today, but because of that, there's a lot of unknowns in the market, and you have to be aware of that. What do we like in the market? We like certainty. All right. When we have certainty, we have strong trends because we know that there's nothing irregular to be priced in, and buyers can come into the market with confidence, or sellers can come into the market with confidence. At the moment, this is not one of those days. So your job today is to survive. The next 48 hours, you should be in survival mode. If you make money, absolutely fantastic. But there's a lot of unknowns, right? So please be careful. As always, though, we're going to stick to the technicals. So starting on the higher time frames, right? Starting on the weekly. Current weekly bar, what do we have? We talked about, we swept yearly lows on Monday. Traded inside. Yesterday, Tuesday, we traded back up to this level here. Very, very simple, isn't it? S&R level, all right? Support became resistance on a weekly level, and we found a sell off that level overnight, all right? This is all happening overnight. We can see this more in the daily chart. What did we talk about the daily? When we woke up Monday, said, do not be thinking about getting short under that Bollinger Band. You are asking for trouble if you're thinking about shorts underneath daily Bollinger Bands. We return where? To the 5-day and the 20 days now catching up. So pretty much almost completed a mean reversion there. Same on the S&P. I was just having a quick look. And we traded inside this daily bar, repricing some of that kill bar on Friday. Exactly what you'd want to see. This currently is setting up a weekly model, isn't it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fail. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fail. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Very possible. Again, normally I'd be looking at that, but news event. And exactly the same, they did it overnight. Wednesday taking it overnight, Wednesday taking it overnight. They're loving doing that move right now, making sure I don't get my easy low-hanging fruit trades. And these Asian traders and London traders having all the fun. But what does that mean? It means we're opening it inside the range, right? There's your Monday low, there's a Tuesday high. We are inside this balanced range, right? This is our range right now for the week. We're inside it. So we're printing inside yesterday's bar, and currently we're inside Monday's bar. All right, so location, not ideal. Let's move down into an hourly chart and talk about momentum. All right, I'm just going to take the session volume profile off for a second. You can see on the hourly chart everything we talked about. Sweep of the lows, trade inside Monday, push up, and we get that push up into the close, trades back inside. Tuesday washes everyone out. This was the long trigger we were talking about. Why? Because this is a resistance becomes support level. We find the bid off that. Where does that bid drive into? Into support becomes resistance. Here you come. All right. So this was a resistance becomes support. This was support becomes resistance. And we trade between these two levels. Just like I said in Discord last night, we'll trade in between those two levels till it proves otherwise. So yesterday afternoon, lunchtime, we came into that fresh test and we sold away from it. We found a bid where? Well, where buyers came in earlier. Towards the end of the day, we squeezed all the way back up and finally hit all my targets. All right, remember that red line is the anchored view up off the sell. All right, from this pivot high on Wednesday. This is where average price of sellers were. This is why I wanted to see that get back tested, which we did. Now, what is the big difference? If we were opening up here today, what would I be looking for? This move. All right, very simple, this move, or base above and go to the next level. Unfortunately, we're not opening up here, are we? Because Asia went, hey, this is lovely. We're going to start selling this back down. This is an A+ setup, straight out the flow zone book. So they've had all the fun, which means we're not expecting to have too much fun today. All right, where are we? We're back inside, aren't we? We're just back inside the range. Here is most of the range. All right, remember this is from Monday afternoon and then Tuesday morning and Tuesday afternoon, and we didn't base above here yet. All right, so I'd say this level here, 500-ish, is key. You can see resistance, resistance, ducked under, but sort of pivoted back over. If we get acceptance back over 500, maybe there's a trade back upside. If we back test around 500, 520, maybe they come in as sellers there and sell us back downside. That is definitely a big level that I'm watching today. 500, 520, somewhere around there. What am I expecting today? To be quite frank, I'm expecting some chop. All right. I can't imagine there's many new buyers coming into this market, given that we've got such a big news event tonight. I could be wrong, but I can't imagine that. Equally, I can't imagine there's too many sellers coming in. Now, the selling that might happen might be if they're going risk off, which is what you're seeing here. There's the back test. Where's an easy trade? Back test up. Oh, don't do that. This was the counter trend long we were talking about. One leg, two leg. Go to yesterday's video. Back test. That's an easy short. Location here. Is this a good level to short? Absolutely not. Right? Look at the pivots. You'll be shorting back into demand. All right, so this is not a good location to short. And if you zoom out, make sure you're zooming out. What was a great location to short? Up here, up here, up here, up here, not here. Okay, it would really need to prove itself that it's going to come down to the next level to add on money for the short here. It doesn't mean it can't melt. It can absolutely melt. But remember, I'm always looking for momentum and location. Momentum right now, fantastic. Location right now, not very good. That can change. So ideally, we're watching that 500, 520, either rejection there, and we can think about a trade back down into current lows and maybe previous day lows and maybe old point of controls. All right, and then I'm expecting it to try and chop inside. If we stay heavy here, maybe we go down for that move today. I find that very unlikely, but if they want to go risk off, they will. What is very, very probable in my mind is sort of this kind of rubbish. All right, I would not be surprised about that, because then we have so many people trapped in here. And then when Mr. Trump comes out and you have all these other countries, like we've already seen this morning, Toronto and Canada, saying they will roll their stuff back if America does. Imagine we've priced in, all right, think about a sell the news environment. Normally you're waiting for good news. So let's say you've got Apple earnings, you're anticipating Apple earnings. We run up, 20, 30, 40, 50 points into Apple earnings, and then all retail come and buy it the moment the earnings come out because the earnings are really good, but smart money's already priced it in and we sell, right? That would be a sell the news event. What we might, I'm not saying we do, what we might be able to do is be a buy the news event, because if we are anticipating the worst tariffs ever causing major economic problems, this is pricing it in. All right, that is potentially pricing it in. And if they roll any of these back, if this ends up being not as bad as anticipated, what happens? All the shorts who are caught down here, wank, they get trapped and we go. If the tariffs come out today and they're worse than anticipated, and we think that, hey, we haven't priced enough in, this is going to cause economic turmoil, we're going to go into worse than stagflation, we're going to go into major inflationary pressure, this can happen. All right, so I would not be surprised for us to build out liquidity here. It would not surprise me at all. What would that mean? It would mean highly probable to maybe not trade. All right, today I'm really, my mindset today is absolute survival mode today and tomorrow. All right, because I know once we get through these next few days, there's going to be some nice trend days ahead, because either we're going to overprice it in and we're going to start pushing upside and we get a nice move to the upside, maybe above 700s. We think about that move relief upside over the next few sessions, or we haven't priced enough in and we're going to start to dunk back down under these and we can attack this low here and then attack all the way down into here. All right, so there's lots of opportunities here if you can survive the next 24, 48 hours. All right, that's where my head's at personally. Obviously, trade your own book. Let's just zoom into the 5 minutes so we can see what happened overnight in a bit more granular detail. Right, as we talked about yesterday, tapped into supply, failed, found bids back down here, squeezed back up, and finally came through the top part of the supply and hitting that anchored view up. Then Asia had a lot of fun. All right, we had this squeeze out in the new session. There's your first lower high, lower low, and Asia just went, yeah, let's go back down to where? Where is support? Down here and down here. Remember, this is thin structure up, so nothing to stop it rolling over. London start joining in the pain, and we roll over back to new week opening gap. So where can we think about going now? Well, absolutely, we've got yesterday's low. All right, this blue box here, that's definitely a level it might want to attack, 263. If we stay heavy under that, we're going to keep melting. Again, if we go under that, find a bid into POC, we might just range today. Very, very possible. So those are the things I'm kind of looking at. Please tell me I was on the right chart for you that whole time. Oh, gosh. I was on the wrong chart, was I, Mike? Did you have the hourly here? Hopefully, please tell me you had the hourly. Drawing this. Oh, no. All right, let's go over it very, very quick. Jeez Louise. Rejection of supply up here. Rejection of anchored view up here. Asia and London rolled us over. Back to where? We're back into this potential RBS, but we've already been here once. When we were last here, we were here yesterday. And that morning low where I was looking to buy. All right. This level here for me is key. You can see rejected, held, pushed up, haven't held it this morning. If we reject 500, 520s, maybe we roll back down towards previous day low. If we take previous day low early and it sets up a buy, I'm looking to see if it would trade back up towards 500. All right, back up towards 500. If we come under previous day low and we get stuck, maybe there's a trade back down here, but mainly what I'm sort of expecting today is this range here to be a bit of a chop fest. Very much a chop fest. All right, is that clear? Very, very much a chop fest in here is what I'm expecting. I do not really expect them to overly price something in today unless news starts to hit. As you can see, yesterday we hit the targets to the upside. Location for the upside sell was here. We talked about it yesterday. We were looking to buy here and sell here. This is what happened. Yesterday's low, bought up, tapped supply, came back down, found structure, drifted back up, hit the anchored view up. That anchored view up, remember that anchored view up is off the sell from the highs. All right, from the highs last Wednesday. Now we're back into range. All right, think about this as a fib. From low of week up to this high, we're at 50%. This is not a good location to be trading in right now. Look how many times we've chopped here. Resistance, support, back into it again. Okay, either we hold this and drift back up and see if we find sellers up here, acceptance over this, we go back upside, rejection over here, we go back downside. We are in nothing more than a big old range right now. Nothing more than a range right now. Sorry about that, team. I'm really sorry. On the wrong chart. I didn't see that had happened. It's unfortunate. Hopefully it made sense, even listening to me. So where are we opening? We are opening with a gap down. Previous day close, gap down into new week opening gap. All right, there's your gap. And here's low-hanging fruit, potentially down here if it's going to keep melting. But location for the short has gone. Let's very, very, very quickly go over the mag. Move this to a 5-minute because this is going to be important. Apple, gap down again into where? Potential structure where it might want to find a buy. Very similar to yesterday. Microsoft, gap down into potential structure. Amazon, gap down right by PDL. Google, gap down into potential structure. Meta, you're getting the point here. Gap down into potential structure. If it starts letting go of previous day lows, it's a whole different ball game. Nvidia, exactly the same, gapping down into previous structure where we found bids. Tesla, gap down underneath previous structure. That had news come out this morning, missing delivery numbers and starting to cheapen prices, which might affect their bottom line, all right, which is why you're seeing that start to melt. ETFs look very much the same. We're in a good alignment right now on the ETFs, everything into a very similar price. VIX, by the way, gapping up. All right, VIX gapping up 2350s into previous day high. Market opening up here in 10 seconds. Get ready for this. Where's all my borders gone? What the hell is going on here today? That is weird. There we go. Jeez. All right, market open here. Let's see what we get, folks. Zoom this in a little bit. So previous day low down here right now. I've got to move this into NQM again. There we go. Previous day low down here. Remember, we found bids in this area yesterday. This is where we were looking to bid yesterday. So be very, very careful. We've melted all session long overnight back into the area where we found some bids yesterday. Let's get through. So I'm going to get through some good mornings. I'm not too fussed about trading this first thing in the morning. Good morning, Clint, Miguel, Ryan, Jake, and up one. Sorry we're running a bit late here, team. Marek, Logan, Jesse, Ramus, Trentry, Christy, Kaladin, Leron, Array, JD, Florida Man, Peter, Miguel, Crawford, John Dennis, Jeff Stewart, Thumper, BH Taylor, Julian, Arturo, Go for Hill, Omalabi, Scrooge, Max Bucks, Andrus, Mike, Logan, Ryan, Miguel, Kaladin. Sorry, guys. Yeah, hopefully you saw that chart when I went back to it. Julian. Brandon, Eva. Brian. Morning, everybody. Calypso, Ian, Louis, Lyndall. Good morning, everyone. All right, so finding a bid here off the old new week opening gap. All right, it's finding a bid here for now. Let's have a quick look at the mag. Remember, plenty of time here. Do not get trapped shorting lows where we found bids yesterday. All right, we've been in a big sell. It's a big gap down, but we're in a ranging market. Tesla, 6.25% down at the open. Nvidia, just under 3% down. Meta, 1.69% down. Google, 1.25% down. Amazon, just under 2% down. Microsoft, 1.35% down. And Apple, 0.85% down. All right, that's where the market is. SPY driving back up to its VWAP right now. ES, way, way away from it. Let's have a look at the Qs. And let's get all the drawings in here. So far, strong bid off the open. Like we said, we came back down to demand. I'm not interested in getting short in demand ever, and I'm never interested in getting long in supply. Very, very simple. I'm going to put an anchor on this morning because we are extended away. A little bit brighter. All right, there we go. It's coming back up to yesterday's point of control here. Orange line. Like I said, if I'm going to think about the short, I'd want probably a back test towards these Globex lows. Somewhere here. Back test of this and see if we find sellers there. If we're going to get acceptance above Globex, then we can chop between these. Maybe it will want to close the gap. But if we back test this somewhere up here and stay heavy, that's a big level for me because looking left, we know that this was a big level here and here. So anywhere around here, 590 up to sorry, 490 up to 520 is a big level for me today. And see how it reacts if and when we get up there, all right? But like you're already seeing, shorts just don't learn. They do not learn. We've come all the way down. We're into demand. We're into key level where we found buyers numerous times yesterday, and they've just shorted here and instantly got squeezed. Right? Do not be that person, all right? Just because we're trading down and momentum's good, you always have to ask yourself, what's momentum, what's location? You need both. You need both on your side. If there will be a time for a question, were there any legitimate longs yesterday afternoon around open price? Yes. Let's just see if this keeps drifting higher. If you're in this long off the open, you're doing very well. It's set up the same thing we always look for, all right? There's your breakdown. Once, twice, there's your long. All right in here. 446, back up to supply. I would have been taking partials off into 513. 590, 600, and then you're all the way up then. But yes, there were. All right, big old squeeze here this morning. Like we said, a range rotating market. We are in nothing more than a range rotating market. Look at the daily, look at the weekly, look at the hourly. We're in a range rotating market. We have sold off heavily overnight. Everyone's scared about these tariffs, but you know, we don't actually have the tariff news until 4 o'clock today, I believe. So coming back testing that lower time frame algo, view up above that, higher time frame algo above that, and then we're going to get into those key levels that we talked about. Julian, bro, I've learned. Does that mean learned as in you will not be getting short at the bottoms? I really think today will be a bit of a chop fest, folks. Today's building liquidity. Just look at the hourly chart. We're building liquidity, drifting up now towards that 500 that I just talked about. If you took there long there at the morning when I was talking, it was very, very good. New week opening gap, held, drive, pullback. Very hard to get involved. You got the buy signal now. This is the target, first target it wants to go to. Okay, if it gets acceptance above this level, it can do a gap fill here. If it really wants to go, it can go and do a gap fill here. But trading in towards those Globex levels now, in towards VWAP. ES also at the VWAP now. SPY on an absolute tear, as is the QQQs. VIX trading back down towards a possible level of support down towards 2271s. Looks very, very strong. Big old squeeze up. At what point do they say, hey, enough's enough? So coming into those key levels now. Here's 500 on the nose. So, I mean, look at that range. Already basically 200 points this morning off that drive up. So 500, 520s in towards that Globex lows. Acceptance into here, and we probably chop around between 500 and the Globex highs, or maybe PDC. This is a big old push up here, though, this morning. 520s tapped. So this is all called pre-market. Unfortunately, I didn't take the long. I got running too far behind today, talking, unfortunately. It just is what it is. Little hesitation there at the 520s. Still in giant old squeeze mode. And does this rollback versus Globex? So remember, this is the level we were looking for. If we're going to form a short here, it will need to show some form of short structure here for us to get involved in for a drift back down. Big squeeze up can let it all back just as quickly, remember. Big squeeze up can let it all back just as quickly. There's VWAP. If it lets go of VWAP now, we go lower. If it holds VWAP, maybe it has one more squeeze up. Holding VWAP for now, creating that potential bull flag. You're very extended away from everything right now, remember. I would not be thinking about this long up here. All right, you've gone straight up at the open. 200 point up at the open. Bang. All right. If it starts to fail here, we will need some form of failure pattern, and we're thinking about a short back down. Otherwise, we get acceptance above here. It's going to go all the way back to PDC. Remember, we are in range rotation. Big levels here you can see. 500, 520, all called pre-market. This orange box is there for a reason. 500, 520, all called pre-market. Acceptance above this, if it gets acceptance above this, it's going to try and drift into here. Right, so I'm not looking to long this, but if it gets acceptance here, we do this. Otherwise, maybe looking for something like this in a rotation back down. We are in a rotational day, all right? We are absolutely in a rotational day until it proves otherwise here. But nice and early in the day here, 5 minutes so far. It's a big 5-minute drive, that. Big 5-minute drive. Acceptance through here. I'm not going to rule out PDC, PDH. They've dumped it overnight for the pump. It's, you know, this is what I was saying. There's too many unknowns in this market right now. Way too many unknowns, in my opinion. They can just trap and wash back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It is really not surprising at all to see them do that. What a move. Look at this on an M15. 200 points up. We're 11 minutes into the day already. 200-point drive. All those traders who got short the lows, they're going to learn a hard lesson, aren't they? So one thing I said I would not be doing today is shorting down there. Location for the short was overnight. So accepting now, or potentially getting acceptance above that Globex at London low. If we can hold this, then we're going to go and drive up towards the next level, which would be 550s. And we're looking at 600s. I'm looking at Asia here. I'm not just calling out whole numbers. 550 is the bottom sort of shelf of Asia. 600s is the top, or 590 is the top of London, and then all the way up into previous day highs. Nice, Peter. You took the long. Very nice. While I was caught monologuing and talking. There we go. Is what happens. But what a beautiful move. So rejecting those 520s. What did we hit there? 526s or something? That was pretty close. Rejecting 520s for now. Very whippy here. Be very careful. If you're thinking about trading this, you have to watch your size. Think about the ATRs. Think about the volatility this morning. Think about everything I've said. Today is not a day to be sizing, all right? Today is a day to survive. If you can survive today for trading tomorrow, by tomorrow we know the news on the tariffs, things will get easier. That's where, at least where my head is at. Building out liquidity here. It either builds out a bull flag here to go higher, or it just starts failing and starts rotating. Those are the options for this market right now. So far, rejecting 520s, 500s like we talked about. Big levels up here. VIX finding a bit of a bid. Structure still bullish. Remember, flow zone's very extended away. VWAP all the way down here, but structure is bullish in this lower time frame move. We're cleaning up all this liquidity. If it wants to come and clean up here, it can. 66s, it's very possible. If you got that long this morning, congratulations. I tell you what, Ninja Trader, I don't know if you can see that. I might have to move down to higher time frame, but it fired off a monster buy. Really nice. So this is starting to really come together for me on Ninja Trader. I can't wait to have this ready for everyone. Hourly driving right up into these key levels. 550s would be the next level if it gets acceptance. Here we go. There's 509s. Still looking good. Through 520s, it's looking for 560s, remember. Through 520s, it will look for 560s. Keeps rejecting those 520s for now. Watching the VIX. VIX getting stuck a little bit at flow zones. If we get through 560s, we're looking for PDC up into 600s. Didn't really wait for flow zones there to catch up. We got close. Shorts definitely getting squeezed here this morning. Yeah, shorts who came in pre-market, just before market open at market open, getting absolutely wrecked here. 550s on deck. And then for gap fill. $550s, then gap fill. Gap fill is that yellow line up here. Gap fill will be 600 for you. Previous day high will be 643. What was the overnight high? Let's just make sure we've got this marked out as well. Current week high. All right, there's your 550s. It's going to go gap fill now. Looks very, very strong. If you're in this long, you look fantastic. Keep holding. Pay yourself a little bit into 550 and then look for gap fill into 600 and previous day high. What a move. Again, we said if it gets acceptance over 500, 520, it goes 550, 600. Right? That was very, very obvious. And one thing we said we will not do today is get short down here. It's asking for problems. All you had to do was look left. Buyers, buyers, buyers. Why are we shorting here? Do not do that. Do not do that, folks. Right, 550's taken. Getting very close for that gap fill now. Meta gone green on the day. Look at the market. Trying to gain everything back. Tesla the weak one today because it actually had bad news. It's the only one which had negative news come out this morning. But Apple now only 0.25% down. Microsoft only 0.10% down. Amazon just over 0.5%. Google trying to go red to green right now. Meta already green, almost 0.5% up. Nvidia only 0.5% down. Tesla 3% down. Nice, Peter. Really nice. It looks good. There's no reason not to keep holding this. As long as you paid yourself a little bit, you look good. You look really good off those lows. Very, very simple breakout. Very much like yesterday at those lows. Same kind of pattern. We never pulled back in, though. It's in such a... Because so many shorts got trapped, we just went straight up. It didn't even give you one of these to get involved in. You had to take this or this tiny one here to get involved in this. I would imagine it will want to go for that gap fill now. So if you caught this, you're having paid myself well already. Good work, Peter. So if you caught this, you're having a very, very, very good day right now. $250-point move. God, it's a nice way to start the day. Imagine 250 points and you're not even 20 minutes into the day. Incredible. Crawford, I'm up $535 and I'm out for the day. Lovely work, mate. Lovely, lovely, lovely work. So structure remains bullish here. Target here is PDC, PDH, and maybe Globex high if it really gets going. Location for buy now, remember, is not so good. We're back inside of all this kerfuffle and range here. But this down here was a good location. Good location while I was talking, doing the good mornings. Sorry, folks. I was on the wrong chart for you this morning and then was playing catch up for those first few minutes. But if you just followed the flow zone indicator, if you were able to at least listen to what I said pre-market, and when I went back over the hourlies, what did I say? Down here is a buying location. Right, it's not a location to get short into. Not a location to get short into. We back tested once, found bids. Yesterday I said to my team, we're going to go from SBR, support becomes resistance, to resistance becomes support, and we're going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until the market has enough trap liquidity, until the news is out, and then it can do the move that it wants. PDC on deck here. PDC on deck here. Yellow line. It's where it wants to go. It wants to close that gap. It's trying to be an efficient market and close that gap at the moment. Strong move up. Be careful with how it's starting to build out. We know shorts got trapped this morning, but this now is getting pretty steep. If they want to come and wash, they can. Remember the old signature. Where's my drawing tool gone? This is getting pretty steep up here, folks. All right, just be careful. If they want to come and dunk back down into here before going for it, they can. If they get stuck under here, the rotation back down opens up. This level, remember, it was key. 500, 520. This is big level today. Either holds that for this, get stuck for this. Those are the moves. Just looking at the book here, seeing if anyone's coming on. Very, very thin. PDC is the target. For sure, they want PDC. That's what they're trying to aim for. It's just how they get there. See this news. Iran, we're ready for indirect nuclear talks with the US. Not seeing too much else. So still looking for PDC. That's 600. It's looking to drive in the 600. Your level on ES will be 647.50. We got the 5-day moving average there as well. Acceptance over that, then you will think about PDH and the Globex highs. Remember, we are extended up here. This is a short squeeze. This is a big short squeeze from here. Have to see how we get here. Do we just go rotation back down or back down into here? Remember, we're in a rotational market. That's what we're expecting today. We went over it pre-market. We are expecting rotation because it's what it's showing you. Rotation, 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 rotation. In rotation, you have to think about the edges. Then you have to think about if you get acceptance above a level, do we get continuation? If you don't, we're into rotation and failures. Almost closed the gap, not quite there yet. So watching to see how it acts into 500s, 520s, 500s, where we just reclaimed those key levels, where the view up from overnight is, where the flow zones are. Want to see if it dunks down and holds that and looks like it wants to drive back up to PDC. If it comes violently down there, starts to find selling, then we just go rotation back downside again. But not expecting a huge day here. Where do we go trend up? Really above this. Any acceptance up here and above is where we go trend up. Why would they do that? Maybe if there's some early news that we're rolling back the tariffs. Maybe if they know something we don't. Maybe if they just managed to put on a giant short squeeze. Maybe if they've priced the big sell in like we talked about. If we've overly priced in these reciprocal tariffs and we go into a buy the news type of event instead of sell the news. So I'm selling up here in front of 600. Still think they should want to close the gap. It's just whether they need to build more people into this market before going for it. ES drifting back down towards its VWAP right now. Remember, folks, this was thin on the way up. All right, so if they start letting this go, it would be thin on the way down. We would expect this to try and close the gap here. You would expect it to try and close the gap. It's holding flow zones all the time. It can hold 500, 520. You'd be thinking about it trying to close the gap. But if it starts letting go of VWAP, we're very, very thin in structure in that bullish move this morning. It can get very, very nasty very, very quickly. All right. Holding flow zones for now, but potentially first micro little lower high there. But let's just see. ES coming back down towards VWAP. If they bid on VWAP, then there's more upside potential here to close the gap. If they don't, like we said, it's very, very, very thin on that squeeze up. You're in a rotational market. You have to be careful. I know I'm just repeating myself, but that's just how it is. Right now, I would lean towards a potential gap fill if they can trap enough shorts. They can't do it, then you know, we have to see. We revisit. Like if they can't hold 500, we revisit. This looks good though. It's trying to go for gap fill now. We start breaking out here. We go for that move into 600. So that's what it's looking for. It will need to reprice above 560s here for me to have like confidence. Or come back down and do a little two-leg pullback into something around here. And then this is also possible. Yeah, under here, I don't like it. Under here, very, very risky because this is so thin. Right. Back is sore this morning. Keep telling yourself today, your job today is survival. Your job today is survival. If you got that long in the morning, you're looking really good. Your job right now is survival. Is there a setup coming here that fits your parameters or not? I don't mind taking the long for the gap fill if it sets up. I also don't mind taking the short rotation back underneath if it starts failing and showing a willingness to go back and back test where we started the day session. Don't mind either or. I'm very flexible today because I know we are in a rotation, right? We're not in a trend. We are not in a trending market. I know we're in a trend this morning, but we're not in a trending market. Just zoom out a little bit. Look at the other time frames. This is not a trend, right? Counter trend, fail. Pullback. Can they find a sell here to go back down? Do they find bids here above? This is not a trend. This is boxed in a range. Understand the difference. Understand the type of market you're in. Very, very key that. It will make a big difference to your P&L because you need to trade trends and ranges very, very differently. Ranges, we play the edges. Trends, we join in. New hourly and 4-hour candle coming here in 1 minute, folks. 1 minute. Just waiting to see if this will set something up for me here to get involved in. At least half of you in chat not hit that like button yet. Come on, folks, do me a favor. You know I'm going to say it. If it's not 100, I'm going to say it. Smash that like button for me. Let's see if they offer a pullback or some form of trap here to get involved in for the long side. If they show heaviness here and they just keep washing and washing and washing and washing, we have to be able to flip our bias very, very quickly if they're going to do that. Watching this H1. ES didn't even get to VWAP, which is kind of annoying. I would like to see this drift a little bit lower before they turn on the booster jets here. I'll build out a bit more liquidity before it does anything else. Still holding flow zone, still holding this orange level. Remember, this is the target. If they can build something in here, maybe a little trap like this, might be a trade up into these. At the moment, it's just not coming back deep enough for me to really want to get involved in, which is unfortunate. Looks good for a squeeze to PDC here now. Here it goes. PDC on deck. Very, very close. So not in this, unfortunately, but maybe some of you are. 604. So I'd be watching into 600, 604 through that. You're going to go 645s through that. You're going to go 670s. Gap now filled on the Qs. Or pretty much. Very close. SPY and ES have got a bit further to go. Like we said, the ES can go up to 564.75. Very, very close to a gap fill there on the Qs. So you're looking good. Make sure you're paying yourself. Please make sure you're paying yourself. Some hesitation around here in front of that gap fill. Hasn't quite done it. It's getting close though. Do we do it? Do we do it? There's the gap fill. Make sure you're paying yourself. And now your runners for previous day high and Asia. So there's low hanging fruit 1. Low hanging fruit 2 will be up here. Low hanging fruit 3 will be up here, folks. So you're holding runners for that move now. I'm a little bit off my game here this morning. As soon as I realized I hadn't had you on the right chart, it just had me a little bit late and off my game, but it's okay. No biggie. Fantastic. This is looking really good for you now. Make sure you're paying yourself into PDC, watching ES into PDC. ES has not filled that gap yet either. So it's very, very close. SPY and ES are very close. VIX coming back down into levels of support into the low 22s. So just be cautious here. You still look good. This is still momentum upside. Absolutely. Momentum is upside right now in the New York session, but we are still in a range until we prove otherwise. If we start breaking out of previous day high and holding bids above that, there is a bigger squeeze to be had up into 850. You look very, very good here, folks. Coming into PDH, the red line, or the red dotted line is your PDH, and the red line above that is the anchored view up off the sell. Remember, that's the average price of sellers for the last week. But your first low-hanging fruit's gone. ES tapped into 5-day moving average there. QQQ at 5-day moving average. How many of you got some of this? Hopefully some of you got some of it, all right? I really wanted a slightly deeper pullback into here. I was looking to just get filled here. 1, 2, just slightly deeper for this move, but hey, it's all right. Again, my idea today is survival. It's actually turning out to be a very good trading day because shorts are so stuck. Don't get too long, too high. Remember, what's this now? This is supply, all right? You should be long here, or long down here, or maybe even here. You do not want to get long in here. This is asking for it. Wait for it to break out and show you it can hold for that next move if you've missed it. Andrew got it. Logan got it. Aga, I'm printing money with you, Alex. Lovely. Had a limit order at 5:11, sadly. I just missed you. That's like me yesterday, Array. I went back and worked it out yesterday. 4 points it missed me by. And yeah, it cost me a very big day. Minix got a piece of it. Coop, 100 points out of that. I love it, mate. Absolutely love it. 2 micros. Hey, that's a lot of money, man. $400 across each account. Easy money. Got my target for the day. Need to learn to stay in longer. Kaladin. Peter Curry got back in. Nice. High fives, everyone. Big winners in chat. You guys outperforming me this week, but that's all right. Like I said, as long as you are learning and understand the thesis, this was all planned out pre-market. All of this was planned out pre-market. It was very clear. We did not want to get short at the lows. It was the one thing I didn't want to do. You can even see it here. I gave it to my Discord. All right, pre-market. Looking for longs around these boxes. This is the grey box. This is literally where the long set up. Boom, 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 up into the red zone. Now, the new long would be acceptance above, and the short would be underneath. Otherwise, we rotate back down. So all planned out pre-market. Exactly the same thing every day. Understand the key levels. I posted a video on it last night as well. I know I missed that trade yesterday, but if you look at my trade thesis, how I plan it out and how I stick with my trade thesis, it matters, all right? You've got to have a plan when you come to the market. You can't just sit here and hope. You got to have a plan. Julian, tiny loss from pre-market, not interested in chasing it. That's all right. The keyword there is tiny, yeah? Tiny loss, that's great. Ryan, in too early on that little pullback and got stopped out. And it's okay. You've already seen that, watched, found your lesson, and you're already going to adjust from it, so that's great. Remember, low-hanging fruit on the Qs has gone. They haven't quite gone yet on the spiders. All right, ES still not to PDC, and SPY still not to PDC. They're getting very, very close. They keep edging up here, but you've got 5, 10, 15, or sorry, 2, 4, 6. You've got like 5 minutes of basing up here. It might need to do a pullback before it goes upside here. Apple now green on the day, Amazon green on the day, Meta green on the day. Tesla on a charge, trying to get it all back. Only 1% down now. Remember, that was over 6% down at the open. Nvidia, 0.75% down. Google, about 0.16% down. Microsoft, 0.12% down. Here comes the first pullback. So like we said, low-hanging fruit, gone. First low-hanging fruit level was here, wasn't it? Well, technically it was here. Acceptance above this, like we talked about, acceptance above orange takes us to here. You can see how the trade's set up. Longs from here or here to where? 500, 520s. Acceptance above that, PDC. Acceptance above this, maybe a squeeze into PDH in these levels. Acceptance above this, up here. Failures above this, rotation down. Failures under this, rotation down. All right, level to level, level to level, level to level. That's how you need to trade rotational markets. We do not get long in supply. Look at all the people who would have chased into red box. Ouch, already in pain. No pullback. Wait for this to pull back and offer it, or a little trap and offer it. But remember, low-hanging fruit, gone. We all know how stingy Alex is when it comes to trading. Once the low-hanging fruits start to get taken, he gets less and less interested in trading. We like the layups, all right? I want a dunk. I want an easy layup. I do not want to be taking a three-pointer at the buzzer from my own half, all right? That's how you get hurt. I want something which is an absolute layup where I can dunk on someone who is smaller than me and trapped. Willa Williams, I learned a lot from yesterday. I had to watch it again last night. Nice. Yeah, I did a shorter version. I cut all of yesterday together and posted it last night before in the evening because I thought it would make it easier for everyone than trying to watch back the whole video. So a lot of it's sped up. People have complained that there's music in the background, but I thought it was very boring to have it sped up and silent. So coming back to that key level then, 500, 520s. 500, 520s. Trade the MBD, taking a day off to learn and watch. And nothing wrong with that at all. Remember, as long as we are process-based, if you're learning, you're being processed, that's great. Better than just clicking buttons and not knowing what you're doing, which is what a lot of traders tend to do. The dopamine hit from trading is dangerous. You've got to control that dopamine hit, right? You've got to control it. You need to be process-based. Drifting back down now in towards those key levels and VWAP, right? This wick low, here's your VWAP off the New York session, here's your VWAP overall. If we start letting go of these levels, remember we can rotate lower. This is the problem. We're in a rotating market. All of the mag now red. right? Just like that. We had like 3 or 4 names green, now they're reds. So back under their closing prices from yesterday right now, but we might find some bids here, all right? We might well find some bids around here. It's very, very possible that this is the pullback to go higher. It might need like another shove down first. Maybe wash out all the late bulls, and then we'll see. Possible right shoulder? Yeah, absolutely. It can be possible. I wouldn't be attacking this right shoulder personally, only because we didn't fully close the gap. I would prefer, if I'm thinking shorts about trades under here, location's better under here once I know everyone here is stuck. So we just let this shake out. There's a very good chance that this does like a little wash and something like this up into here at the moment if they catch it. But like I said, I'm willing to be very flexible today because we're in a rotational day. We're not in a trend. What did we say? We're likely to rotate from here to here. Why? Because it's telling us that's what it wants to do. Rotation, 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 rotation. If you go back, those in Discord, if you go back yesterday afternoon, I said we're likely to keep rotating from RBS to SBR, RBS to SBR, over and over and over and over and over again until it's got one side caught and the news comes out. ES back to VWAP here. Big levels here. If they start letting go underneath these levels, 476s, remember this was a straight squeeze up. They can reprice this whole thing. If they get stuck under here, this can reprice very quickly because this is thin structure. This was shorts covering, right? This is shorts going, ow, 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 ow. If they hold this, we can return upside. You can see how the momentum shifted. The moment we took the low-hanging fruit, you got a shift in momentum there. Literally, the moment we took the low-hanging fruit, momentum came into the downside, didn't it? So still holding orange box and view up for now. If they trap underneath here and they set back and they can't set that level, we go back upside. My bias remains upside right now. I know momentum's coming downside, but just because we didn't close the gap and because we're holding view-ups, my bias is sort of more upside still. I'm blurry, am I? Oh, there we go. Any better? Any better, any better? There we go. Time for a new setup soon, I think. Still blurry. Let me walk out and walk back in. Only reason I haven't done a new setup is because considering moving house at the moment. I'd like a nicer office to trade out of. So finding a bid there so far. ES finding a bid off its view up. Remember, ES still has not filled its gap. It still has a gap to fill if it wants to do it on the ES. We've already filled the gap on the NQ. And it's found a bid off its view up so far on the ES. Question here is lower time frame now. Do we do the lower high or are we just setting a squeeze to go right back upside right now? Either bear flag or upside. I favor upside until it proves otherwise, to be honest. I know momentum's come back down, but really for me, this level is so key. It's going to be very easy for people to get trapped here. So all the time we can hold this kind of level, this move's possible. If we start failing under here, I feel more confident about a rotation back to the lows. But yes, we definitely, low-hanging fruit was taken and we're finding sellers in supply for sure. What is this? Did I draw that without knowing? So back to VWAPs here. You can see New York VWAP and the overnight VWAP. Bright blue and dark green, or lime green, should say. Multi-time frame not in alignment right now. Like I said, Radar, I think it's a bit early to say that. Like, it's possible, yes, it's possible there's a quasi in head and shoulder, but I still think the fact that ES did not close that gap is a little bit risky for me, and the fact that we're still above the VWAPs and still above the Globex level, my bias would be upside still. That will change if we start breaking the neckline and we start breaking the VWAPs and we start breaking Globex, then yes, there is a possible rotation move. Normally, I'd say, yeah, we'd be looking for something like this. But look at the higher time frames. Look at the higher time frames right now. Nothing to suggest that needs to play out right now. Don't get too caught into what's happening on a 1 minute. All right, we're still above deep pullback. We're still above flow zones. We're still above the key level, 500, 520. Remember, this was key level today. If we hold this, this move here is still possible. All right, if we come under this, yes, then that is possible. Don't front run it. Do not front run it. We're right at point of control right now as well. All right, so you can see it on an hourly. This is where we get really congested overnight and this morning. Lots of volume here. It's also yesterday's value area high. Acceptance above that, maybe we get that move back upside. Like I said, I still think ES has a little bit of unfinished business here to the upside. That's the only thing I would say, really. Big if and buts, but that's where my feeling would be. If it can get over 550, there's not much on the tape here. There really is not much on the tape here at all. Maybe if it reprices some of those imbalances on the sell, those sellers get stuck. I don't know. We just have to see, won't we? We'll just have to see, folks. Yes, looking pretty good, though. Here we go, market. Are you going to get going? Let's think about this from a fib. I think we're going upside here. I think if we can reprice through some of these, there's potential for upside. Just because I think shorts are caught here, in my opinion. Here goes ES, and it's got that triple high to aim for. It's got unfinished business above, like I've said. It didn't close its gap on the ES. That's the one thing I would say. It's just going to be a battle whether it can get there or not. I would not be thinking about a short up here, personally. John Dennis, thank you, Alex. Closed today, $3,567. Hey, that is lovely news. That is fantastic. Nice work, John. Yeah, VIX does. You're right. VIX does have a gap down to PDC, 2180 or 2178. Good eyes there, Marek. So here goes the market. It's trying to squeeze up. ES is trying to get back upside right now. It's trying to go and take out the 5-day and get to its PDC. All right, it's a bit of a battle here. Time will tell whether this is sets the higher low, which some of you might be playing to the long side, or the lower high, which some of you are thinking about playing to the short side. My feeling is it's got unfinished business upside. There's no reason to get short in here for me. You would be guessing that shoulder, hoping the shoulder comes in, rather than playing the momentum in front of you. Things can change quickly. We can adapt, no problem adapting. Absolutely no problem adapting to this. If it shows a willingness to move lower, we can join. Remember, trend is confirmed, or like a move is confirmed by the break of structure to the downside here. So far, one move down, one move inside. It's not confirmed. You have no confirmation until you get this move under here. So right now, this can absorb here and go up if it wants. It can happily do that. It can equally come down like we talked about, and then we'll think about the short. But I'm not thinking about a short in here. It's too risky, in my opinion, with ES having a good reason to go upside right now. Again, trade your own book, though. That's just what I'm feeling, what I'm saying. It doesn't mean the market has to do it. Market's going to do whatever it wants. I'll join short if we start to fail underneath the orange boxes, basically, is what I'm saying. Otherwise, I'm thinking longs. This is definitely battlegrounds. John, do you mean the Ninja Trader one? Coda has promised me, I'm waiting for 2 more updates on it so that it's got the opening range built into it and some weekly levels. I've been promised that by Sunday. I spoke to Ninja Trader last night. Once I have that, I have to send it over to them for them to make sure it's legitimate, which it is. And then they will send me all the details for, what do you call it? Like so that you put in your individual trader number or whatever it is, Ninja Trader number. So I'd imagine by the end of the month, hopefully by the end of the month. But I'll probably find a way of giving it to my students or selling it very cheap to the students first. I'm having my new website built at the moment, so I'd like to launch everything together. So I've got quite a lot of work to do to get all that done. But that's what I'm thinking. Hopefully by the end of the month, if not by next month. But it won't be too long. It won't be too long. This new one will be on Ninja Trader. I'll then have to code a new one for TradingView. I don't know if people will be interested in it for TradingView in many ways, but I mean, we've got a lot here already, but I might as well do it, I guess. They're still building out here. Do they build that right shoulder to move lower? Or are they going to go for the PDC on the ES and the SPY? I'm not building it for Think or Swim. Sorry, DK. Not enough people use that anymore. Old school. You're using Think or Swim? You are old school. That takes me back to like 2018 days. No way. There's just not enough demand for it for Think or Swim. Yeah, that's right. But you can do cash account on TradingView. Lots of ways you can do cash account. Move to TradeStation, then you can use TradingView. There you go. Talking of that, PJ set up the Atlas room again yesterday. First day back. First day back. I think so many members in there already. Okay, they're trying to build here that little micro move to go higher. They're really trying to attempt to get that squeeze up on the ES here. I've just got one eye on the ES. That's what I'm watching here to see if they're going to get going. It's trying. It's trying. Like I said, I don't favor the short side here, and here's why. ES has got unfinished business at PDC. If ES goes for PDC, NQ should go for PDH, really, because of just where we're positioned, basically, between the two. 600 would be key, acceptance over that. So you've got this new flag here. I am long here. Finally getting a trade in here. See if we can keep going. Lovely. There's PDC tap again. I want to see it squeeze through here and get to PDH. And then see if we can get through PDH. So already 30 points up. Looking for ES to come and get to PDC. It's tapping on its 5-day. It has broken previous high of day. I just want to see this just straight squeeze up now. This is why I'm saying, those of you who are calling for the head and shoulders, you're a bit too zoomed into the 1 minute. All right, you're a little bit too zoomed into the 1 minute. You've got to understand that the ES had unfinished business. Looking for a head and shoulder here is fine. You can build out that thesis in your head. But if you're attacking this short, when the flow zones are upside, when really this is the key level, you're very early and you're going to get squeezed, right? So just get out of that habit. Let it fail. Remember, this is confirmed short down here. Until then, longs. What are we holding? What's the key level? 500, 520s. We talked about it all morning. Hold of this allows rotation up into here. Yeah, Coop. Yeah, seriously. Seriously. They're all back. Actually, funnily enough, like PJ was the last one to come back and do something. I know Gary's been charging people to learn stuff. Learn. It's arguable, isn't it? Nothing. Zach obviously launched his crypto and ETF stuff. Coming back towards break even, I did take some money off there into PDC, folks, because I saw ES sweep the high of day and get stuck at 5 days. Still think it's unfinished business, but if it can't drive higher, then we come lower, and then I'll think about that short if we start getting stuck underneath the golden zone down there, underneath 520, 500. Yeah, very interesting. Crawford, is the one for NinjaTrader more robust than this one? It's just got more stuff programmed in. See you, darling. It's basically an all-in-one indicator. You load it on, you shouldn't need anything else other than VWAP. It would do everything else for you. Do I trade in TradingView or NinjaTrader? I execute in NinjaTrader unless I'm traveling. If I'm traveling and I'm on a laptop, I will execute in TradingView. Yeah, same Logan, small W on that bull flag. Still got unfinished business here. Look at the ES, it's still got unfinished business. But had the chance to get through PDC, couldn't do it. 600 key level there. There's a 1,000 lot seller at 600. And there's a 1,000 lot seller at 600 right now. 610. 610, 612, 1,000 lot. Big, big, big. Let's see if he's legit. Flat now. Oh, sorry, folks. Just wait now. Building out range here. Want to be careful if we start to see tapering. If we start to see tapering across here, this is where I'll be more interested in a short. Unless it sweeps and comes inside, in which case I'll be thinking long. But if we get stuck here, I'll be more interested in a short down to here because this is thin. Until then, I'm really not interested in the short. I think we're playing against momentum. I think the shorts got so caught here that we're just drifting higher right now. They got really caught down there. Remember, today, survival mode. You need to be in survival mode. Yeah, thank you, Peter. Initial balance set in a couple minutes. What level is the 1,000 lot? He's just above 612.50, or he's at 612.50. 1,005 lots up there. I don't know if he's legit yet. He only came on the tape after we started selling. So on that last push up here, he came on the tape. So let's see. I would doubt he's real because every time I've seen 1,000 lot, he's been the spoofer. But let's see. If he is the spoofer, he's doing it to drag the market up and he's going to go higher, 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 higher and try and lift the market up into PDH. That would be my guess. If we see him start moving higher, that's his game. That's what he's trying to do. He's a buyer in the market trying to move the market higher. But let's see. Let's see. Looks good so far. Flow zones are still holding here, folks. ES getting close now for that breakout. ES now looking to go to PDC. Very, very close. 5-day moving average PDC. That's what the ES and the spiders are trying to do. They're getting very close here. Coming up right here, right now. One more point. Thank you, love. Tell me back. Yeah. Nice. Have a good day. ES coming right into PDC. It's very, very close here. One more point will do it. One more point will do this on the ES, and then that will be the first low-hanging fruit gone. Spiders did... I think they tapped it on the spiders. Let me just have a look. No, they didn't. Very close. Very, very close here. Initial balance now set, so initial balance rules will apply. That purple dot on your screen will become a purple line. So you will have auction theory over it, failed auction theory as well. Didn't quite fill the gap there, but like on the SPY, we hit a high of 6090.95 and the gap fill is .97. So might as well consider it closed. Lyndall, I'm buying your course today. However, I have one TopStep X account and one Bullnox account through Ninja. I want to eventually trade multi-accounts at once. Should I change my TopStep X to Tradeovate? Yeah, I mean, if you want to link them together, yes. Unless, I'm trying to think what it's called. Someone help me out here. What's the new trade copier which works online? My brain can't think. No, not Replicanto. That's what I use. Is it like Trader Sync or something like that? Not Replicanto. There's one that works online that will work, I think, with TopStep X as well. It's new. I think it's called Trader Sync. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have a look for you. But yes, you would be easier moving to Tradeovate for sure. But obviously, knowing TopStep X, you got to know that if you do that, they will not honor the 10-to-1 split of micros to minis. So just make sure you're aware of that rule with TopStep. No free copiers. No free copiers. You've got to spend money, guys. All right, like if you're gonna get a free copier, chances are the coding on it is a bit shit. Why? That's the one part of your trading tool you do not want to be bad. Imagine the copier fails on you and you lose months and months of work. Spend the money on something respectable and reputable. You're only going to spend like $100, $200. Spend it there if you're going to spend it. Here you go. Here's ES on a straight ripper now, like we talked about. So above IB high here, new high of day on the Qs here. Everything's starting to push higher, 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 higher. ES is through its big levels that we were looking at. It's printed above PDC. Next move for ES, if it wants to, would be all the way up to 94.75. But low-hanging fruit has gone. Low-hanging fruit is gone. I think it's called Trade Sync. Trying to find it for you. I don't know if it does do it. Number one cloud-based futures trade copier. Sync across TradingView, Tradeovate, Ninja Trader, Rhythmic, DX Feed. Let me see if it does X, Project X or not for you. So low-hanging fruit taken. We're back underneath the initial balance. ES is still holding PDC and IB. Maybe not. I don't think it does. Trying to see. I think it does everything other than X. Everything other than X. Trader Syncer. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Thank you, team. Thank you, team. Yeah, so Trader Syncer is a new trade copier. It's cloud-based. I haven't used it, so I can't comment, but I know they've been in the works for a while. They were beta for most of last year. All right, so low-hanging fruit taken. Just missed PDH. There's your initial balance. Initial balance rules apply. All right, we're still in high time frame or low time frame momentum up. We can definitely come and sweep these guys if we're going to do a rotation from IB to here. It's very, very possible. Very, very possible to do it. ES also closed its gap. Remember, most of the market now closed its gap because ES and NQ closed its gap. That's where you're at right now. 1,000 lot. Guess what 1,000 lot did? He moved up, just like I said. So here's a buyer in the market. All right, that 1,000 lot was at the 12s. He moved up to 37s, right? The reason he did that, he put 1,000 lot here. We moved up towards him and he moved it higher, hoping the market would keep chasing him. So he could probably get a bit of an exit as a buyer. He was probably a buyer here and he wanted to get that exit above this high. All right. And then he probably sold like 100 lot there on a market or something that you can't see. All right. So playing games on the tape. 1,000 lot. He's a bit naughty, man. I've seen him in this tape for the last, 2 months it must be now. We've seen that 1,000 lot playing around. Yes, I do have a discount code for Replicanto. Let me find it for you. I think it's 20%. Yeah, FlowZone20. I'll post it. Code FlowZone20 will get you 20% off. You cannot copy trade bull knocks with other props. It's against their rules. Oh, interesting. Yeah, some props do have that against their rules. You can't trade them together. It's always worth noting. Some of them you can. I think bull knocks you can if it's the lead account, I think. Double check that. I think if you message them, if they're the lead accounts, I think you might be able to do it. So if you're executing on those, yes, FlowZone20, that's it. Watani. If you're executing on bull knocks, you might be able to do it as long as they're the lead accounts, but it's worth emailing them. What they don't want you to do is be a follower, then be the follower. So range rotation continues, stuck here underneath the initial balance right now after sweeping higher day. Structure remains bullish. Remember, sweep this low created this high. This is internal range in here. All right, chop, 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 chop. Very, very possible. This might want to get swept at some point and then maybe upside or maybe get stuck and they just let it go. I don't know. I really don't know. This is a very unusual day, unprecedented times with the tariffs coming. I'm not sure, Logan. That's above my pay grade. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. VIX finding a bit of a bid here into those low 22s that we talked about. Okay, VIX finding a bit of a bid into the low 22s. They might come and go for that wash back down here, remember. We built that liquidity. It's very, very possible they're going to go for this wash. I'm watching this now in very small size in case we do this wash back down for that trap move. Already in the money. Want to see it take out 50s, really. When we take out 50s, we go back down towards VWAP. That would be the IB to VWAP kind of play. I'm not going to let this even reclaim 80 here. Because it's counter trend. But we're playing the initial balance rotation. If you're like, why is he doing this? We're all green because I'm playing initial balance rotation to here. It's a different setup. We swept. I'm playing for this move here. If it reclaims this, I'm out. Really simple. I'm looking for initial balance rotation. If it reclaims this, I'm out because then I think we can rebuild. There you go. So already out. Seller moving up again. 637s now. 1,027 lot up there. He's trying to drag the market back up again. Games on the tape. Games on the tape. Still holding flow zone. So if we start reclaiming IB here, we're going to go PDH. If we get, it's really hard here with where they've positioned IB here, PDH here, overnight high here. Really, you need to see acceptance here to see a better long today. The positioning of this is unfortunate. And they didn't even sweep these. I would have liked to have got something off into this, but hey. Everything looking very bullish again here. Now, if they can get above the IB, it's looking fairly bullish for low-hanging fruit targets above. So just a break-even trade there for me. Yeah, stuck up there. Spider's stuck up there. PDC and IB is getting stuck up there right now. Either it flags, breaks out higher, or we start to wash and attack some of the liquidity we've built up in this morning session. Flat right now. That last trade was a break even. Had a little attempt in case it was ready for the rotation. It was too early, clearly. And that 1,000 lot now disappeared. Left the tape completely. So he is absolutely playing games. It's definitely the same guy as the last few weeks. New highs coming here on the ES. Watching this. If they've trapped enough liquidity here, if they're going to get expansion above the initial balance, they're going to go for the PDH. And then these highs, 700s basically. Above 700s, we're into an old H1 gap. What I need to be very, very careful of. Above 700s, we can price all the way up to here if it really wants to. Think about it on a daily chart. Think about it on a daily chart. We're back into this old imbalance and we're back into potential midpoint. All right, this is going to start trading down. This is starting to trade in. This is getting into squeeze territory again. We expect these to do this and it will pick a direction once it's got enough trapped. But all of this here is trapped volume right now. Into the chop now. So you can see momentum's coming out this market. We're into chop right now while it builds. So just be risk off here. Just wait. All right. Remember, we expected this today. This was the kind of session I expected all day. I didn't really expect it to be in so much of a hurry to drive up here, but there we go. I'm going to get a refill here, folks, on my coffee, and I'll be right back. All right, no change still. No change, just hanging around at the highs for now. This is what happens. We talk about it all the time. When the low-hanging fruit goes, opportunities start to diminish for the rest of the day. This is what we get. So remember, auction theory is above here, same as failed auction. If we do something like this, this will open up later. If we steal all the liquidity and turn underneath, it will open up later. If we're going to base here, might offer this trade here, but it's very, very risky here because why? This is supply. All right, this is all supply. We know every time we've come up here, we have found sellers. Where was the best long location? Off demand. Right, how do we know it's demand? Look left. Where do we find buyers the last few days? If we get going, it's PDH is really the target and overnight highs. I'd be very, very careful here, buying up here. Everyone good in chat? Everyone safe? Everyone made some money, hopefully. You can be patient now. Honestly, you can be patient. Let it set up the next move. You don't need to force yourself. I know I keep repeating myself, but today is all about survival. Nice, Christy. The Avram, well, I'd say that's good trading, really. Didn't make any, didn't lose any. Just being patient, that's also okay. I blame myself a little bit this morning. Probably was trying to have you guys prepared for the move, but as soon as I had it on the wrong chart, it was meant I was behind schedule by 10 minutes and probably cost me the long opportunity. Hopefully didn't cost all of you the long opportunity out the gate, but it was a tricky one. What you have to be careful of here is all this liquidity being built up. If they keep failing, like I said, there's a rotation back down to here. It's very, very tricky because you're having to play the edges. Remember, rotations, we play edges down to here. But there's no structure to say it has to do that right now. Structure is building and building and building. If I was a short in here, I'd be a little bit squeaky bum time for that drift higher. So it's for me right now, I'm going to leave it alone. I had that one attempt, took me out break even. Leaving it alone right now. My gamer chat is popping off right now. All my old mates, all of them, most of them dads, all arguing about when Call of Duty is dropping right now. Can just see the messages pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging. It's so funny. So funny. Got the countdown on my third monitor. They're all arguing. Some of them are saying it's live today. Some of them are saying it's all gone today. The only things left are Black Ops 6. Some of them are saying it's out Friday. Some of them are saying it's out tomorrow. It's quite funny. They're all in different time zones, though, which is hilarious. So they might be saying the same thing. There's guys in America, guys in Canada, guys in England, guys in Portugal, all in the same chat. It's very funny. Still building momentum here. This is still looking like potential for a squeeze. I don't love the longs up here, but it's very risky, but it's still building. You think it's live at noon? What, today? My buddy say Verdansk is out tomorrow. Yeah, this is it. Does make me laugh. Yes, looking very close to that sort of flat top break. We're looking kind of similar here on the NQ, but it's very risky to be buying up here. You're buying in demand right now, underneath in demand, in supply, underneath the initial balance high. It's potentially trying to set a squeeze. How long has it got left? 10 minutes into a new hourly candle. Let's have a look at this current hour. Yeah, big levels up here. Big levels up here. Make sure you're looking left. Put you onto this hourly. So SBR, support, resistance. Okay. We're trading into this level. Acceptance above, we can go for next level up. New positions here, definitely a little risky. Anchored view up here off the sell from last Wednesday. Highs here if it really wants to go and attack it into 700s. Right, if it's going to go for that squeeze into 700 to take the liquidity, that's where it's going to aim for. But it's very risky here. ES about to make a new high. ES will be looking for a drift into PDH if it can do it, which will be 94s, 94.75s. So rejecting initial balance there again. Did ES get through there? Not quite. Pat is right. I thought Verdansk was today. We changed into Call of Duty stream this afternoon. So hang on. So it's not out today. So what's out at noon today, Pat? Take care, Peter. Nice trade this morning. Lovely long there, my friend. Good work. Yeah, VIX is into its old gap. VIX is into its old gap. So maybe it comes down for that move down to PDC. We'll have to see. What I'd say here is the way we're building out is very risky. They can flush back down first before they go higher. They can drive up and fail and then flush it. It's just not particularly pretty here. A low-hanging fruit trade. The only ones left really are PDH and overnight high. And again, you'd be buying in supply to get there. It doesn't mean it can't get there. It can absolutely get there, but you'd have to be buying in supply to get there. Multiplayer is out today. What? So it's a whole new game. Do you have to? You would have had to paid for multiplayer, will you? I think they're all saying Verdansk is tomorrow, Pat. Well, anyway, back to trading. But I can just see my chat is like Brad will know what I'm talking about. He's in the same text group as me. It's just popping off online. Does Ninja Trader provide data for VIX, or do I get that from somewhere else? I have that on TradingView. I'm watching that on TradingView. I like charting on TradingView. Also, for you guys, it makes it easy because I can draw and flick between screens really easily. So I do like charting on TradingView and teaching on TradingView. I like executing on Ninja. Plus, the other thing is, if I want to check out the Mag 7 or the bonds or the FX futures or gold or anything like that, I have it all on a watch list on TradingView. I can have a look at the actual charts. It's really easy for me. Starting like this is still doing this. This is very risky here. If we start to taper, it gets stuck. If we set a squeeze, it can go up. It can also fail from there. Like, this is not a level or anything that I'd want to execute in now. You're 5 minutes away from a new hour candle as well. It does have it, though, under indexes, VIX. It does have it there. I guess it would depend if you have the data feed for it on Ninja, but it does have the VIX is a symbol for it. Market just come to a bit of a ground halt. Like we said, if it wants to go and wash all these bulls out, it can. It just depends. Does it swipe up first and then come back down? Stuck underneath initial balance. ES over initial balance. NQ stuck underneath PDC. ES over PDC. VIX into its gap. Apple now 0.41% up. Amazon just gone green. Everything else red. Tesla 1.83% down. Nvidia 1% down. Meta 0.14% down. Google just under 0.5% down. So a few of them teetering red to green. Tesla and Nvidia, the heavy ones out of the mag today. Like we said, Tesla had bad news this morning. Bad numbers, lowering prices, affecting the P&L. Or potential P&L in Asia, that is. I think was the main place they were looking to do that. Back to the top side here again, 680s on ES. If it can break that, it's going for 695, right? That's the level that it's trying to do. It's just a question of can it do a flat top break here or not, basically, is the question. Do they run this into the new hour? Remember, this can push and fail very, very easily. ES showing a little bit more strength now if it wants to get up to PDH. Buyer came in underneath here, 815. That's probably this. I don't trust this guy. Like, and how is he getting away with this for months and months on end? It's so obvious that it's the same guy. 815 order just above 575 here, 580. Will flow zones be on my TradingView account with any other prop firm connected to? I'm not sure I understand what you mean there, Lyndall. Flow zones, if you do the course, flow zones will be on your TradingView, no matter who you connect to. And flow zones don't just work with futures. So if you want to trade with another broker and trade anything, they will work. They're on your TradingView. They will stay on your TradingView. They have nothing to do with needing to be connected to an account. They will be there on your TradingView no matter what you're looking at. So here goes the push. ES looking much stronger here for the drive up towards PDH. NQ trying to join in. You've got a new hourly candle coming here in 2 minutes. Higher day break here will be 28. That will be the drive back up towards PDH if it can get going. If it can get acceptance over 700, there is a move higher. If it can get acceptance over 700, there is a move higher. Remember, new hourly candle coming. ES getting very, very bullish here. We're almost there on the Qs. Remember, if you're in this long, I've just added a little bit long for that flat top break once I saw ES going. Very, very small size. We're looking for a drive into 43s. We've already taken money off the table there. Just playing some micros here. Tiny, tiny, tiny. I just use TradeOvate only. Will they work there? No, they don't work in TradeOvate, but they will work on TradingView if you link TradeOvate to it. Right, so if you go to the bottom and you link TradeOvate as your broker, they will work. Right, so they work on Ninja and they work on TradingView. That's where they work. Whoever you're using for data provider, as long as you are trading or charting on those, they will work there. 45 seconds left until a new hourly bar here, folks. Right, we're getting very, very close here to previous day high and to this anchored view up into 663. Remember, overnight high will take you into 700. We're still drifting higher. Shorts are still caught in this. We're still drifting higher. All right, look at these levels. Still drifting higher into them. 10 seconds left until a new hourly bar here. VIX got very close to closing its gap there. Very, very close. So I'm going risk off here. Stops well into the money. Here's the new hourly bar. There's the pullback. And there goes my stop. as expected for a new hourly bar. Now, we might come and sweep all these people out. Remember, this can be a failed break and a sweep. This can be a failed auction. This can also be a dunk, clean these guys up, and then go back upside. All of these things are possible right now because we're stuck in this box. Okay, so it might sweep these guys, play the range back up. It might failure, come inside, come back down. All these things are possible right now because we are in a box. We're in a range. We're not in a pro trend. Trend above here is possible. Low-hanging fruit targets have gone. PDH was very close to getting hit there. Remember, this anchor has been in place for a long, long time. You can see we respected it yesterday. We respected it last week. We respected it last Thursday. We respected it on Wednesday. And that's where it's anchored from the Wednesday sell. So need to be aware of that. Big, big, big level here for sellers to remain in control of. Zoom this out a bit for you. All right, 1 hour left until lunch. One hour left until lunch. Coming back towards the current point of control, remember 80 basically, a big, big level. That's where all the volume is in this current session. You can see we flirted around here for so long. Under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Basically here. Big level. Big, big level in this session. Very, very grindy without... Remember, it's grindy without taking any of these guys out right now. At some point, I would expect them to do this kind of move. Or if it really wants to, just stay heavy. It doesn't mean you short it, but you have to be aware of a failed auction type of move. Hard thing with a failed auction right now is we got so close to PDH and didn't take it. You got to think sort of 43s and 700s are big, big levels right now. Did they dunk first before thinking about going for them, or do they not go for them at all and they just dunk? Who knows? Or do they go for them first and then dunk it later in the day? Definitely location to buy is very, very tricky up here. Got involved before the new hour candle for that little attempt at PDH, mainly because of how ES is operating right now. ES is the stronger of the two. Remember, ES is sitting above PDC, above IBH, trying to drive up to 5,694. That's its target right now. For the SPY, those of you trading options in SPY, you're looking for a drive into 562.94. Might as well call it 563. And this is a big SBR level that we're in right now, that pink box. Big SBR level. Keeps getting stuck up here at the IBH. Just waiting for the next setup, really. I don't mind joining long if it's going to base above everything and prove to me that it's, you know, if it's going to base above everything and prove it wants to come up here, I don't mind joining long. If we're going for a big old short squeeze day, I don't mind joining short. If we start sweeping and failing inside and come and clean these guys up, I don't mind doing that either. What I'm not going to do is just guess around these levels right now. The flow zone's still bullish, low hanging fruit here. The next level would be 44s and then basically 700s. can see the market's really sort of cooled off the last, what do you want to say, like an hour or 45 minutes? Alex, why is the opening of a new H1 so significant? In otherwise, why such a drastic drop at that last H1? Because you have H1 traders playing at that point, right? So you've got to remember, we're playing intraday, right? We're executing off like M1 or M2, but we're watching higher time frame. You have institutional traders who are literally trading off H1 bars, H4 bars, all right? So those are the points where they're starting to enter and exit. They're entering at the transition of H1 bars because they're looking for a trade inside to get caught or a trade outside to get sold. And as we know, Brandon, you're doing the course at the moment, pretty sure. So as we know, open, high, low closes of all bars are important based on S&R. And the higher the time frame, the more significant that bar is, the more weight we put onto it. So that's why you've literally got traders in the market playing off those bars. So they might sell into the new before the new H1 bars comes, right? And they might sell like right now. Let's just have a look. Right now, this is an R level, right? Resistance. So you've got new H1 bar who are sellers trying to sell down into the old high, and if they get lucky down into here, you've got buyers. H1 buyers trying to bid off here to get expansion. You might have breakout buyers trying to bid up here to get expansion higher. So they're playing off the S&R of this level. And that's why you get that injection of liquidity. Nothing to do with ICT macros. There is no such flipping thing. It's just his way of explaining it. Makes me laugh. Like it's suddenly these children have suddenly realized it's not real and they've started talking about it last week. It's like, how dumb are you? Like, how dumb are you to have believed that stuff for ages and ages and ages? It's not a macro. There's no such thing as a macro. It is traders in the market playing off higher time frames. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. That's all the market ever is. That's why we like multi-time frame alignment. Remember, if the daily wants to move up, and the H4 wants to move up, and the H1 wants to move up, we're looking to join that uptrend on the M5, M2, M1, etc., etc. That's when the easy trades come. The easy trades come when everything aligns. The hard trades come when you're trying to get that pullback leg. You're trying to play short on a pullback leg for an H1. It can be very, very difficult. You've got to time it really, really well. Does that explain it for you, Brandon? Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Nice. So still looking bullish here. Just building momentum. It's just grindy, 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 grindy. I don't feel comfortable about long in this unless I see all these bulls get washed out of this market, to be honest. Or unless we base above the sort of 700s. But the draw here is previous day high, golden zone top, that sort of 660 and then 700. That's definitely the draw. But getting involved in this up here is very, very tough. VIX getting very close to closing its gap here as well. Oh, so tired. So tired. I was up watching old Billions last night. About a series behind right now. VIX coming into PDC here. Very, very close to closing its gap here. Tyson, went to my first NHL game last night. Who did you go and see? I've never been to one, actually. Never, ever been to one. A couple of friends of mine went to watch Blue Jays and Kings in LA last week. Everyone says it's awesome. They love it. I don't really follow the game, so I don't I'm sure the atmosphere is amazing, but I think I'd struggle. Utah against Calgary. Yeah, it's a great show. Yeah, I do like Billions. I'm about a season and a half behind, so no spoilers. I'm on the season with the Olympics. I won't say what's happened in case any of you haven't watched it. So still absorbing off that IB high. All right, they're trying to absorb IB high. They really want to go and run PDH. Alan, I didn't actually. I didn't. I did think that to myself. I didn't have one. No one to enjoy one with. This weekend, for sure. A couple friends back in town this weekend. I don't like smoking alone. I like it as a social. Did you have one, Alan? What did you smoke? I'm not, Lyndall. Sorry. Easter sale ended. Ended a while ago. I only ran for like 5 days or something. Sorry about that. Two a day. Nice. Still holding flow zones, still just hanging around between PDC and IBH. Like, it's still nothing I like here. I'd be concerned about liquidity sweep coming. I'd want to see one side get taken and then think about attacking the other side. Very close to PDH, didn't take it. Trendline liquidity built up, haven't swept it. Remember, we've been in a squeeze up today. VIX now finding a bid after pretty much closing its gap. Not quite, but pretty much. So it looks like it wants to try and rotate down here. It might come and sweep all that liquidity, but it's far too early to think about that. It's left both sides in right now. Back to PDC. Kind of messy here. Maybe it's going to come for the sweep. Now it's coming for the sweep, so without me. So sweeping out this trendline liquidity, we talked about it. These bulls, they are likely to get washed out. Maybe after that, it might come back for these, unless it stays heavy. But if bulls got trapped at the highs, it's going to punish them. Structurally, ES is still above PDC and IBH. So one thing you need to be careful of here is the divergence when it comes to the positioning of these two markets right now. From a technical point of view, ES is much, much more bullish. It's holding over PDC and over IBH. So there is slight divergence in terms of where they are building out this liquidity. Looking like it's trying to wash some of these bulls out this market right now. It's what it's attempting to do. Does it do that rotation down to one of the VWAPs? No idea, but it's possible. Only swept one level. Did it sweep these? Nope. Hasn't swept any of these. It's very, very possible here, if it gets stuck on the next push, that it comes down into these VWAPs. Very, very possible based on initial balance rotation. Failed auction above so far. No base above. And a rotation possible. Just remember, ES is IBs like here. So this is what I mean. Like the way it's positioned, the two markets, you have to be tricky. Because if ES finds a bid on IBH, it might drag the Qs up with it. So if you think about this short, you've got to be very careful watching ES. It's coming into PDC and IBH right now. Back to those deep pullback flow zones at the moment. People above me like jumping up and down. What are they doing? So as a reminder, there are a couple new sales which just started for April. Traderify now, 30% off all accounts. All right, 30% off all accounts. And 40% off if you're a first-time buyer. So if you've never traded with Traderify right now, it's a good time to load up. And that's on all of the accounts. Looks really good. Take Profit still running their 30% off sale for life. No activation fee there. All right, so one-time fee, 30% off for life. So those are two of my favorite firms right now. Two of my favorite firms. So still holding the deep pullback. Like I said, you have to watch ES because ES is still bidding above the initial balance. Still finding bids in, at, and above the initial balance. All right, so you have to be careful. That's also PDC. Have to be careful here thinking about the short, because this can just be a sweep to trade higher. And we've swept a few levels, not all of them. So you'd need to see a push up and a failure, and then you'd want ES to really join in that failure and start to break down underneath IB. If it doesn't do that, I would be really, really cautious. If it doesn't do that, I'd be really cautious. Here comes initial balance test on the ES. Gosh, why am I so tired today? Sorry, folks. So many yawns on stream. So, ES, trying to find a bid there on the IB and on the PDC. The question is, does this form a higher low in here to get rejected to do this move down? Or is this a sweep and they're just going to go up for these low-hanging fruits? Very hard to say all the time that ES is holding. If ES was weaker underneath the IBH, I'd be leaning more short side here, but just due to confluence, it's a little bit tricky. VIX trying to find a bid, though, does look a little bit better. But for sure, there's possible rotation down to VWAP. It's possible, but you would want to see ES participate. If ES isn't going to participate in that move, it's going to be very, very, very hard. Because if ES keeps finding bids on IBH, like it currently is trying to, then there is potential for it to try and go for PDH and drag the market up with it. When I say the market, drag the Qs up with it. If they build out a bear flag here and reject, then maybe you get something. But so far, like I said, ES holding that IBH, you have to be aware of what the other markets are doing. Holding the deep pullback flow zones. Market's still bullish in terms of the flow zones, but we are underneath the initial balance. ES is not underneath the initial balance. That is the big divergence at play. Positioning is key. The positioning in this market is key. So looks like a little wash to go higher. Now, either they find a rejection up here and we come down, but there's no like significant swipe up here, and this is the problem. Low hanging fruit is here if it really wants to go for it. What's the time now? And we also held, that was also, what did we say, 80s? That was point of control on the day. That's your point of control on the day, so it just held. You can see it on the hourly, on the session volume profile. There's your point of control on the day. So we swept previous point of control from yesterday, and point of control's moved up now, and we're trying to hold it and base above it. Oh! Still decent range in this, like the way it's moving. It's still pretty good range. Yes, very good. Very, very strong there, holding the IBH and PDC like we talked about. Hopefully that kept you out of trying to force the short down there. Remember, PDH is a low-hanging fruit here if it's going to really get going. And then through that would be the overnight highs into 700, I guess. if, buts, and maybes, but that's kind of what you're looking at. It's trying though. It's definitely trying. PDH coming up here. So if you took this long, make sure you get a partial out into PDH, and then above that you're looking for 700s. Well, you're looking for 666 and then 700s. There you go. PDH now taken on the Qs. Big old squeeze up here. Here's your overnight highs. Well, the previous, get this right, Alex. Your London Asia highs. You do have a swipe up level to 700 if it wants. That's where it went overnight. Not in Asia. Before Asia. All right, so the Asia level we've just taken. So really 700s is on deck here, guys. 700s is definitely on deck here, this red line up here. So they trapped again here. So here's the sweep and the return in, and then never built out here to go. But there you go. Hopefully you learned from that. And the confluence from that came from the ES. ES getting very close to its previous day highs now. You would expect the market will want to get up towards that 700 now if it can. Okay, so this is the importance of looking at them as a pair, all right? It didn't like the short because the ES was above the IBH and PDC. So once that held, like I said, if it holds and goes upside, it will drag the Qs up with it. Exactly what happened. We've just dragged upside because of the strength of the ES, and 700 will now be the target. So any pullback here that holds, it will try and absorb for 700. If it fails back down now underneath the IB, then we have had a sweep of liquidity, external liquidity, previous day high, and then you can maybe think about that trade back downside. But right now it's very, very bullish, and it's in a hurry for ES to get to PDH, and it's in a hurry for the NQ to get to 700, I would say. That's what the market would like to do. It's what market's telling me it wants to do. It wants to try and get to 700 here. For those who play deep pullbacks, some people only play these. Deep pullbacks paid big time there, didn't they? Remember, there was no bearish signal. We didn't go underneath. So through the anchored view up here, this red line, again, next line, basically 700s. That's where market's trying to get to. 700s. Yes, still not taking PDH. So my bias, I've just moved my levels. The one thing I hate about Ninja is no control Z. They've got to sort that. In fact, I might actually message Ryan, tell him they've got to do something about that. When you move drawings, they've got to put a control Z in. Big pun. Got an Adderall script filled. Back on track. Focus like a laser. Shorts must be the most stubborn thing on earth. They love getting trapped and burned. They never learn. Yeah, totally, Coop. It's really weird, isn't it? The mentality. Shorts like I'm going to force the lows, and then today force the highs. And momentum's just up, 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 up. Here comes PDH, very, very close on the ES. So if you're long in this in the NQ, nothing wrong with taking a partial here, all right? Because that external liquidity is PDH on the ES, and we're about to tap into it. And then you're looking for 700s. If we base above 700s, like I said, if we base above 700s, there is a move up here into 840s. Still short of PDH here on the ES. Is that right? Musk going to step back from current rolls. It's probably going to help Tesla. Oh, there you go. Tesla now 2% up. What a turnaround on Tesla. That would be off that. Did that just happen now? Yeah, look at that move on Tesla. Massive. There you go. Into 700s here. Make sure you're taking some profit in this move, please. This is what we were talking about. ES now taken PDH. We are into that sort of 700 level. Big level. You must be taking profits into this move. All low-hanging fruit's pretty much taken. That red line is the last low-hanging fruit. Above that, all that we can really think about is a base. I've got to go and get a tissue here. Bear with me, folks. Please take profits. There you go. We've taken it. All right, we've taken it. You hit a high of 700. You should have locked something in if you were long. And if this wants to now roll over after sweeping everything, it can do so, all right, because all the low-hanging fruits have now gone. If it's able to base, then we think about that bigger move to 840. But remember, low-hanging fruit trade has gone. This is the edge of the range now. So we've gone from one side of the range to the other side of the range. One side of the range to the other side of the range. Clearly through this 700 now. Next step up for the ES would be 711s. You cannot be buying up here. Exactly, Coop. Yeah. Extended now, though, aren't we? We're extended away from everything, but this was probably a really good buy down here. Like I said, once it sweeps, and understanding that we were below, but ES was actually above, was the indication that we still had unfinished business. We knew that PDH and 700 was a big level, and now we've traded into it. So anything up into here is a bonus at this point. Cannot long this up here. If it keeps squeezing, it keeps squeezing. We talked about this yesterday. Go to the beginning of the stream. I say, like, if it keeps squeezing up here and doesn't let you in, you know, squeezes can go further than people anticipate because shorts keep adding, all right, and they can go further than you anticipate. You don't want to be a new long up here. You are asking for it. Look at this big move here. It's over 100 points, 120 points that happened very quick. Mean reversion trade possible here. SPY coming into its 20-day. ES not too far away. Where's the Q's 20-day? A little bit further. Because I'm trading futures, that's why. Trading futures. I'm trading NQM. I'm on the M contract right now. Trading the futures. Not trading the NAS 100. Trading the futures. So back to 700s here. It might come way deeper. Remember, it's done its main job. Its job was this move. Low-hanging fruits have gone now. All low-hanging fruits have gone. It's done its job. Well done, market. You did your job today. Impressive. ES back to PDH. Remember, no structure here because we're straight squeeze up. No structure here until we get back to 635, really. So anything it builds up here, very cautious of because you're still in squeeze territory. Book's starting to thin out quite a lot now. How long we got? Half an hour. So a new 5 and 15 and 30-minute bar coming here in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what they do on this new little bar, if they do anything at all. Stuck at 700s. Good Crawford, yeah, had a couple little trades, nothing major. Unfortunately, I was, don't know if you've just joined in, I was running a little bit late today. I messed up the beginning of stream going through the pre-market analysis. I had it on the wrong chart, so I was explaining to people my hourly chart looking at something else. So I had to like move them onto the hourly, and that just meant I was a little bit delayed, but it's okay. Where does it say 499? That's just the stream messing about. That's what happened earlier today. I'll have to fix that. It's because I had no banner at all today. That's just OBS being an idiot. But it's 649. Sorry, that's what it is. Don't know why OBS is being a pain in the butt today, but it is. See if I can find the old banner and fix it. Thanks, Jeffrey. Appreciate it. Has that changed? It might not even change it until the new stream. I don't know. I don't know how quickly it will update. There we go. All right, so it's still building a bull flag here to go higher, but again, we are extended. Low-hanging fruits have gone. All right, you're at 700. Anything above this is a bonus into 840s or, yeah, sort of 840s. There's nothing very, very high risk here to be buying. This here was probably the best buy. Little sweep and a turn back inside, and then it's off to the races. But there's no structure here until we get back down here. So if you're buying here, you're buying very, very high, aren't you? Let's start to remove that just to clean it up a little bit. How long we got left? About half an hour left of stream here, folks. Not too far away from the 20-day here on the indexes, which would be a full mean reversion on the Bollinger Band. Remember, we're through the 5-day. The next stop would be 20-day. Very, very possible. Definitely in squeeze mode today. Higher shorts definitely caught off guard. Flow zones definitely have remained bullish all day. All session, these have been bullish. Been in a buy since down here, and nothing has changed. Just checking my ES levels to see where we can trade into. Yeah, 710 I think is the next level that ES might want to trade into. 710s. If it can maintain momentum, if shorts continue to get stuck, it's got another 10 points of upside. There will be. Of course, there will be. Crawford, yeah. Definitely will be. To clean up all my levels now. So you shouldn't be trying to short this. You're trying to guess tops if you're trying to short this. Momentum's still upside. I don't like the location for the buys. Location for the buys have been and gone. All right, be disciplined. Even though this looks like it wants to break and go higher, just be aware all your low-hanging fruits have gone. The only thing left is if ES wants to backtest 710. It's the only thing I can see left for it to do. We're into an imbalance here. If we're going to fill this whole imbalance, 840s on the Qs. But, you know, you can't initiate a new position up here hoping to get up there. You've done a big move. Remember, today we've moved from 300s up to 700. So it's 400-point moved in this session already. There's no structure here until we get way, way back down into this. Right? And low-hanging fruits have gone. So just be aware of that. Be aware of it. If they want to retrap, they can do something like we talk about a lot. Let me draw. Right, some sort of dunk. And this, you want to be very, very careful if they come back into here and they go sideways. So far, we're in trend day up, aren't we? You can see the initial balance. We're above the initial balance. Flow zones are positive. We're trend day up, but we've taken the low-hanging fruit. That's the toughest thing right now. We've taken the low-hanging fruit. The only thing left to hang on for would be sort of 840s, and that would be you know, an absolute wish on a runner. If you're already in this long, that would be a wish case on a runner. Otherwise, I don't see how you can get involved up here, you know. It'd be a big runner, wouldn't it? Another 130 odd points. You never know. You just never know. Well, I think you'd need some form of significant pullback first before it thinks about doing that. I would think, unless people are really caught off guard. Tesla now 4% green. What a flipping turnaround. Nvidia now green. Amazon green. Apple green. Microsoft just gone green. Google and Meta lagging behind a little bit, but they're coming into their close prices from yesterday. They have the potential to go red to green. News hit the wire here. Fitch ratings. Still drifting higher. You cannot be guessing the shorts. All right, do not guess the shorts. Jeff, 2 W's, small, off to work. Thanks, Alex. You're welcome. Good work. Locking in those base hits like we talk about. There's a squeeze up day so far. Only thing left to aim for is 840, but it's taken the low hanging fruit. We are into that daily imbalance. The 20-day full mean reversion will be 800s, and then 840, and then 920s. Reading the news here, folks. Bear with me. Russian gas unlikely to return to Europe in large volumes. Getting stuck here a little bit. It's getting stuck here a little bit. Again, no swipe up. I don't like these equal sort of highs being built here. We're holding 700s. You'd expect some sort of swipe up first for a clear out. But again, I'm not looking for the short unless it's very, very clear and obvious. We're in a trend up day right now. This can keep drifting higher. The reason we're trend up is because shorts have got squeezed. That's why we're drifting higher. And delete that now as well. Don't need that anymore. This is just like we talked about, isn't it? Shorts getting stuck on tariff day. You can still set higher time frame, lower high here. It's absolutely possible. But they started attacking in demand, and that's always very, very dangerous to do. So far on the hourly we're building higher highs and higher lows, and we are in now to thin structure all the way up into 820s. We're into thin structure. You can see it on the volume profile on the hourly. We talked about this yesterday. Those that are here yesterday, this is what the hourly's doing. This chart, honestly, sometimes trading view really annoys me. Right, push, pull, push, little sweep up all the way into here. Where's it thin? Here. This is thin, isn't it? Look at the volume. There's no volume there. So if it wants to trade all the way up into 840s, 820s, it has the ability to do that. If. They're big ifs, all right? Because it's done a lot today. This has done a huge amount today. We're 400 plus points up already off the lows. Don't be getting yourself trapped today, all right, either side. Remember, today is about survival. I've said it over and over and over again. Today, I really think, is about survival. Once we get through the announcement at 4 o'clock today, everything will get a little bit easier. Remember, we're very thin here. There's a squeeze. It might need to come back down to here before it decides what next. I should use the bathroom. Be right back. All right, so building liquidity up here. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. Something's going to give at some point. Something will give at some point. Remember, low-hanging fruit's gone. This is squeeze higher. That's all it is right now. It's a squeeze higher. You need to be very, very careful if you're thinking about executing anything here. There's no confirmed short here whatsoever. And buying up here is incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous because we've taken all the low-hanging fruit. The only thing it's left to do, like we keep talking about, is drift to the 820, 840. Everything else has been and gone. The question is, do they dunk down here? Like we said, there's no structure here for a while. Here you go. They're starting to let go into flow zones here. This is what we're talking about. No structure here. It might want to drift back down and back test some of these levels. And if we get stuck down here for the rest of the day, what do you then have? You have buyers trapped up here, and you have this as the ability to roll. Okay, so if they've used this, remember 700 was key, got above it, trade inside if they fail down here. Otherwise, this can be a pullback. Until then, this is still a pullback to go higher from a technical standpoint, to go higher. So those are the things you should be considering and looking at right now. Remember, we said it can do something like this if it wants. That's how you would trap shorts in. You would do this and then reclaim to go higher. Lots of if, buts, and maybes. Again, there's not much to aim for in terms of higher prices. There really is not. Not a lot you can be thinking about aiming for now. Most of you should have made money in the longs this morning already. Not once have we really talked about short. I think I had one break even short where I tried the IB rotation. Right, coming back down here aggressively back towards where it broke out from. Okay, so sort of 6 previous day high down to all the way down to IB will be key here. All right, if they hold that, it has the chance to produce a higher low and have another attempt for that inverse head and shoulder. If they start failing beneath that, then you get buyers trapped at the highs. Like I said, when we were up there at 700s, do not buy up there. You are committing suicide trying to buy up there. Get used to understanding it. Low-hanging fruit taken at 700. Move had happened. It's been and gone. Why are you trying to buy up here when today we were talking about buys down here and down here? Why are you trying to buy up there? That's FOMO. If you bought up there, you suffered FOMO. Aggressively pricing lower here, coming back to structure now. It's coming back to structure now. Back to PDH. Is everyone doing good in chat? Hopefully you've all learned. Look at the volume coming in. It's pretty big sell volume coming in there. You would say buyers currently look pretty trapped up there above the 700s or at the 700s. So either right now, it has the chance to do that inverted head and shoulder, or it does a drive up, fails, produces the lower high and starts being sold into for a rotation back down towards view up. Those are the options right now, but hopefully you are all doing good. I should have kept you all safe here. I've been very, very precise with the levels today and what I was saying. PDH here now. IB coming. Here's structure. So into structure. If you took this short, you want to be covering a little bit here because they can catch this if they want. If you took this short, a counter trend short, if you took any of these short for the roll, for a break, if you're a break short, you want to be covering some in these pockets here because this is the structure, okay? And then if we start getting beneath that, we've got all these guys that we can think about aiming for. Right, so like we said, if we start getting here, you want to be careful. This can chop for a while, and then this can cause the liquidity for the break. Remember, today we've been in a squeeze up all morning. You've got about 12 minutes until you get that new hourly bar. All right, so hopefully today's kept you very, very safe. We talked about do not get short down here. This is an area too long. Repricing over this orange box, which was here all day, was a trigger long held. Low-hanging fruits, PDC, PDH. Above that, 700. All right, there are your low-hanging fruits. Trade 1 into here. Trade 2 to here. Runners, runners. That's it. Okay, be disciplined with how you trade. Be really disciplined with how you trade, please. If you like how I teach, if you like how does he get these levels, how does he understand these levels, just do yourself a favor and do the course. Everything is in there. The reason I'm here every day calling the same stuff. Very, 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 for me, I would say simple, but some would say very, very sort of advanced work. But it's just memory. It's just understanding how the market moves, where it moves to, why it moves to there, respecting the levels, waiting for the market to come to you, and then executing. All right, there's a reason we have a plan. I talked about it in the video I posted yesterday. All right, you got to have a plan. Structurally right now, right, from this point to this point, we're bullish. But if we push up here and we fail here, we're going to go lower. If we reclaim this, shorts get stuck and we go higher. All right, think about who's stuck in the market. Right now, buyers are stuck in the market up here. These are the key levels up into that. Don't want to short down here. Really, you'd like to see a drive up and a failure if you're going to think about short, or a big flush down and a retest. Something like this could work as well. Right now, they're just letting all the air out of the bag. So remember, for sell structure, you need this to do this and then partials into this. Remember here, IB is key. This level, these levels here are key. And this is where shorts got trapped. Right, so we expect a bid from here. That's why I'm saying if you were short here, you need to be covering in here. We need to see a return back upside and then something to short off. If it doesn't give something to short off, it resets the squeeze for that inverted head and shoulder look. And then I think 840 is doable. Yeah, so if it comes above this and does this, oh, this is bullish to 840. If it comes up here and fails, this is bearish. Again, we peaked above the anchored VWAP and fell back inside. Peaked above the anchored VWAP, fell back inside. Yeah, please give me a thumbs up. I haven't checked how many likes I got, but let's hope it's at 100. I don't have YouTube up now. Let's hope we're up at 100. We should be at 100 likes. Every day we should be looking for 100 likes. Still failing here. 83. Come on, folks. 83 likes isn't enough. I don't know any other YouTubes giving you trades like this and keeping you safe like this. I do not know them. Maybe they're out there, but I don't know them. The most popular ones definitely are not teaching you while they trade. So back to IB here, back to PDC here. Remember, these are big, big, big levels. Look at that. That's a 100-point failure off the high already. This is why you do not get trapped trying to long above key liquidity levels when it hasn't built anything out. We would like to see a bounce here, really. You cannot get just short down here. We're into chop zone. You'd want to see a bounce higher to sell into if you're thinking about getting a sell now. You really want to see it drive higher first and create that lower high, some form of bear flag to risk off. But why do you need to be careful? Because if they protect this and they get up into this, this is no longer a sell. If it's a drive into here somewhere or here somewhere, building out a bear flag, there's something you can risk off. Otherwise, any reclaim up here, do not touch it. Anything over 681, you should not be thinking about a short. From a structural point of view, this can still be a higher low from a structural point of view. Tesla almost 3% up now. That's so impressive. From, I think it was 6-point-something% down at the beginning of today. I mean, that is really good going from Tesla. ES still holding its IB high. Okay, ES still holding its IB high. Still holding PDC. We're looking to see if a bear flag forms here. If we can try and get a rotational trade back down to VWAP. Be very careful if they set the squeeze, though. Yeah, it absolutely could be a failed auction, but we need to respect the levels looking left, don't we? We have to respect all these levels looking left right now. So far, we tapped back into PDH, found a seller there. Again, the problem is looking at the difference between the ES and the NQ. It's been the problem all day. The way they're positioning the two charts is very, very different. I'd be very, very cautious if they reclaim 80s, basically. A claim of 80s will be a problem. You also only have 5 minutes until lunch. Be aware of that as well. Be very aware of that. Still holding deep pullback flow zones as well. So the trap here would be a reclaim of 80s. That will have bears trapped. Really, we want to see pushes here start to fail and rotate. That's what you would like to see if you're thinking about the bearish move, that is, obviously. If you're thinking about the bullish move, you're looking for it to reclaim 80s. Watching VIX closely here as well. So it might be the start of a bear flag here. I would have liked to see this go a little bit higher first. Maybe two legs and then fail, like two little pushes up. We've had the first one, that we've had that white candle. We're looking for a new drive up. Here we go, starting to come. So let's see if they get some failure point up here. If they don't, I'd be very careful. You want to be so careful. They're making this very tricky in how they're positioning stuff. Because overall, we're still bullish, right? We're above the initial balance. Remember that. Overall, we're bullish above the initial balance. This is the key level up here. Over this, I would be very, very bullish. So I'm not attacking this short until it proves itself to me. Because I do not want to get trapped if this is a dunk to go higher. Remember, this is the low that created this high. This can be a pullback still and go higher. It definitely can do that if it wants to. Remember, the narrative for the day have been shorts getting cooked. That's been your narrative for the day. Starting to see a little bit of selling coming in here. Starting to attack this now. I want to see this let go of PDH, and I'm going to look to see if we can then let go of initial balance. And then I'll be thinking about, can I attack it? Zoom this in a little bit. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. Don't like that. It's a flat top either. It's a little bit naughty leaving it like that. That would have been nicer if it was like this. I'd feel more confident if this was not left stops up there in such a fashion. It's starting to look better. Be very careful here. You want to be very, very careful here if you're looking at attacking this short side. This can definitely squeeze on a reclaim. Absolutely can squeeze on a reclaim. I want to attack this. Not in it yet. I'm looking to attack it, but it's not proving itself to me yet. So far, remember, we talked about this move earlier on. If it wants to do this, this is the kind of bear trap, because this low produced this high. This can be a pullback, and this can really set the tone. So I'm not in it short yet. We're protecting the initial balance, protecting PDC. We didn't fail under here. I wanted to see something like this, really. This will give me something better to think about as short, and definitely under here better. Here's your big levels coming up here. Remember, reclaim of this, I don't like any shorts, and we're coming right up into it. So I don't like any shorts right now. If they reject that level, maybe you get something. I'd wait for confirmation personally. Amazon said to make a bid to buy TikTok. Well, it's going to be an expensive bid. That would work amazing for Amazon, I guess, because you think about all the influencers on there who they could have as affiliates to drive products which they sell on Amazon. It would make sense. This is looking more and more bullish by the second to me. Trap after trap after trap so far today. Every deep pullback's been caught. Remember, we've got lunch coming in a couple minutes here, folks. Just be aware of that with the time. Oh, I've got a cramp in my back just to make it even more fun. Oh. Oh. Afraid not, blue collar. No coupons right now. The last coupon was for Easter. There won't be another one for a while, for a good few months, would have said. I'm afraid. Sorry about that, my friend. Books thinning out here. You've got 30 seconds until a new hourly bar as well. We move into 2 minutes, we're definitely going to still be in a buy. Yeah, still in a buy. So it's only 1 minute that tried to sell. It's really important to know that when you play with the flow zones. 2 minutes will give you less false signals for sure, because it moves less. Here's a new hourly bar. Always point of control still extended away. Last hourly close basically at 70s. I'll stay with you here for a couple more minutes. I'm out, Bell Small Green. Don't want to give back. Be safe, everyone. Yeah, well done, Miguel. Just remember today, survival mode. I know we've had a good drive up today, but today should be survival mode for everyone. Things can change very, very quick. Very, very quick. As soon as anything gets leaked on tariffs, as soon as we hear, hey, these tariffs aren't going to be as bad as people thought, or the opposite, hey, we're going to hear like major punishment against this country, or blah, blah, blah. Like, could be major noise in the market. Think about who's going to get affected the most by the tariffs. Like if they tariff like China and Taiwan and all the places with chip makers, expect big tech to get hit hard. You can think about tech, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, all of those really hinging on what's said at 4 o'clock today. Really hinging. This is looking more and more bullish if it can get back above 80s. I'm not going to, no way I'm buying this, but I'm just saying that's what it's looking like if it can get back above 80s. If it fails up here against it, that can be the start of the first lower high. But again, you need a lower low for that to be confirmed. Otherwise, it's internal range. Any questions here, folks, before I go over lunch? Well done surviving today. Hopefully none of you blew up. You should all be green or flat or very small red if you took some scalps or errors or whatever, but you should not have blown up. Nothing on chat should have made you think to get in trouble. Any questions before I sign off here and we come back tomorrow? Where would the lower low be on ES? Basically, you would need it needs to break the IB low. All right, so you've got 2 pivots there, basically 5672, 5672.75, somewhere around that. You would need to see that breakdown. All right, so on ES, this drive here basically came down into an equal low. This is what's being protected, right? And then you've got IB and PDC here. You would need to see that be broken really for a better short position to happen. See, they're starting to squeeze this now. All right, they're starting to potentially trap here. The narrative for the day has been, how can we trap shorts to go higher? Trap shorts, trap shorts, trap shorts, trap shorts. That's been the narrative so far today. This would be the target if it really can get going. Very risky. I'm not a buyer up here. No way, Jose. All right, into lunch now. Yeah, look, guys, fine to call it a day. I know everyone's going to be like, there's a massive move today. I only made this. It's it moved very quick at the open today. Right, the main meat of the move happened here, and ever since then, it's been grindy. We talked about this sweep, but I would have liked this to come down into here. That would have been a better long. We talked about this setting up maybe, and we've also talked about this setting up for later in the day. Those are the 2 options later in the day. But just remember, like, there's another day tomorrow, and the market won't be waiting on the biggest news event of the year tomorrow, because it would have happened, and that's important. But when we have, uncertainty in the market, it makes it really hard. It makes it really hard to like have confidence in a direction. So once we get through this uncertainty, it's going to be easier, folks. It's going to be easier. All right, team, that's me done. I will be back later today. For those in Discord, we'll check back in later today, see how we get on. Until then, big love. Use hard stops. I cannot say it enough. In this market, especially with tariffs around the corner, use hard stops. All right, one tweet, one news conference that we're not ready for will move the market. You do not want to get caught in a 100, 200 point flush. It will be very painful. All right, big love. Be safe. Be kind to each other. See you tomorrow.